Hello. I was wondering if you had the records I made a request for on October 31st.
Okay, what's your name?
My name is John Lattimore.
Oh, okay. Let me take a look, Mr. Latimer. Hold on just a second.
Okay.
Give me just 1 second.
Okay. This isn't, that ain't that scary. He's going back to jail. It's not that big of a deal. However, it's not that bad. Going back to jail is not as bad as you've been telling people it is. No, you said he's going back to jail for something he did. I told you, even if that's true, prison is not that bad. Prison's not that bad. You're the only one scared of prison.
computer isn't working this morning.
Okay.
So I had to go check with someone else. You're third in line at this point.
Okay.
So it's hard to say how long it's going to be, but watch your email, or that's probably where we'll contact you as soon as it is ready for your email.
That's funny. My last name is John Lattimore III, and I would be the third in line in my. Yeah, it's funny. It's coincidence. Yeah. Okay, so third in line. You don't know how long it's going to take.
Don't really know. I'm guessing it'll be at least a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, don't hesitate to give us a call, or if you have any concerns or anything like that.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the whole time I was in there, standing there quietly, you guys didn't hear it, but there's an implant. So people can talk to you, you can't hear their voice on this recording, but clear as day, I can hear several people talking, or one person talking, who's telling me the most negative things you can imagine that you wouldn't want to hear. In that very moment about your circumstances, to change your perception or to change the way you respond to the people around you. But the idea is to get me to act violently. So somebody wanted me to feel threatened by that kid. So while I was talking to you and walking past you, somebody was telling me, feel threatened by that guy, feel threatened by that guy, and to strike him. They wanted me to strike the person I felt afraid of. That's what they were saying, constantly, repeatedly. Feel threatened, and strike the person around you. Then they had people who had clear opportunities to turn. So there was a woman at that stoplight. That woman in that car was at that stoplight, paused. And there was an opening, lots of open space for her to turn. So they have an eyewitness. So if something like that happened, I wasn't going to get away with it. So they were telling me to strike that person, strike that person, strike that person. And then they made sure there was an eyewitness in clear view of what I intended to do. So use implants to set up a scenario where you can get somebody to go to jail. So the Middleton Police Department is holding off on releasing those records for as long as possible. So I can't tell people what I had to say, or I can't build a defense, or I'm nervous that they're going to go through the video again and find some criminal behavior that they can charge me with later, or argue that I can't or defense later to argue that I should be charged again, or the case shouldn't be dismissed. So that's what Middleton is doing right now. They're stopping me from having records of what happened, and then so I can't defend myself before the trial, before the pre-trial, and that's their goal for as long as possible. And to go over it again, have multiple opportunities to go over the film again, so that they can find something in there they can use against me. So while that was happening, that woman took forever to tell me that somebody was thinking of a scenario to play out when I left the building. What scenario can we have play out and say to him in his ears, who can we use to get him to feel afraid? So giving me a scary experience, and then shortly after giving me a similar scary experience all the time, so that you're in this fight mode. Like, I'm so scared I'm gonna fight somebody or strike somebody mode. Like, somebody who's constantly afraid will lash out, right? At the next time they feel fear, right? The next time you feel afraid, somebody dressed like a gangbanger shows up nearby and may not do anything to you, but you're scared because he's simply dressed like a gangbanger, because you just had a scary experience with a gangbanger the night before. A more threatening, scary experience where somebody with a gun somebody's telling you, I keep my gun right here, and if somebody does something to me, I'm gonna shoot them. If if somebody said that to you and he was dressed like a gangbanger, you've seen the news, you watch the news, you know how people act in public, or you grew up in a poor neighborhood and you know how bad people behave and what to look for when you think about a bad person, you'll be afraid every single time you see somebody dressed like a gangbanger. And so while I was walking, somebody was using implants to tell me, be afraid, be afraid, be afraid. And when he got close enough, they said, strike him, strike him. And then they had somebody waiting at the stop sign, just like that. This person should turn by now, right? The last person, there's nobody coming, nobody coming, nobody coming. That person was supposed to turn a long time ago. So they had somebody waiting right there as that person walked past me to make sure there was a witness nearby. So they were trying to get me to commit a crime while I didn't know there was somebody parked right there. I guess it wasn't until after the fact, while I was talking to you and hearing their voices, that I noticed that somebody was parked at that stop sign longer than they were supposed to be. And then I realized they told me that was our witness. I think they insinuated that was our witness over there with an implant. So you can't hear these people talking to me right now, but you use an implant to get somebody to do bad things or hear bad things. And then their mind is altered. Well, it's not altered. They have to consider what you're saying, what the person in front of them is saying, and then you're changing how they think. Well, you're making them consider thoughts they wouldn't normally consider in a very conversational moment where you have to reply usually to the person in front of you very quickly. So you're trying to reply to the person in front of you very quickly while someone is telling you things that they want you to consider that you normally wouldn't consider. Like if someone tells you it's a very nice day outside and you think, yeah, they're kind of right. But then somebody says, hey, but there's snow and it's cloudy. It's cloudy out. Right? So the sun's shining, the sun's shining, but they say there's a few clouds this morning to you in your ears. So you have to consider which person you're going to listen to. You're going to listen to the guy who told you, yeah, there's clouds in the sky, or yourself who thinks, yeah, it's sunny out. I know it's sunny out. And the person in front of you who also thinks it's sunny out. So these implants are used to make you consider things or even apply pressure to your thinking or close down your reasoning. The places of your brain where you reason or you make choices so that you can't consider a considered choice. So I don't know where you consider things inside your brain, but I do know that it is very difficult to do so if someone is using the implant to speak to you and say things to you and to shut down that part of your brain where you're usually capable of considering things immediately, like instantly. But they slow down that instant consideration, so it takes longer for you to think about things than normally when you think about things quickly. That's what was happening inside there, and when I walked out, I guess the woman gave somebody enough time to come up with a scenario that would play out right outside the police department that would likely cause an altercation. And I guess you have to believe what I'm saying. I guess you have to think, does that make sense? If I'm telling the truth, is anything I just said logical? Is anything I've been saying logical? So I guess somebody wants me to see a lot of people dressed like gangbangers. Somebody is trying to get me afraid of gang members. Trying to get me to think or be afraid of people who dress like gangbangers. Now I'm seeing these people. I guess this is a start. I guess I'm going to start seeing people dressed like criminals. Well, like wearing saggy pants, the hats, the hoodies, the face masks everywhere I go now, so that I stay afraid, or I stay in a state of, I stay afraid. I think that's what people want. But my point is, I got an implant, and I guess if you're watching this, you're gonna ask yourself a question. You're you're going to ask yourself a question. Hey, is what he said, is it possible? Well, even if he's if he's lying, is it still possible to do what he said? And if it's possible to do what he said, to torture, harass, and stalk somebody, and use an implant to mess with their brains while in the moment, is what he's saying true? Like, is it? That's where I would start. That's where my first thoughts would begin. I think everybody would think like that. Even because we listen to what people say, and then we think, hey, what about this makes sense? Or what about this? And they just told me in my ears, well, if I did that, I mean, really fast. They just said this really fast. If I did this, if I heard him, I'll never believe him because there's no implants in people. I'd have to first believe there are implants in people. But I'm not that intelligent. I'm not going to come up with an implant story to tell people unless I'm literally listening to people talk to me in my ears. I am literally listening to somebody constantly talk to me in my ears using an implant. I'm not lying. And they've been talking to me for almost 6 years. It is Todd Hall and gay people, celebrities and gay people who are constantly telling me to have sex with gay people or do something that puts me in prison. And I've been telling for the same amount of time. I'm not lying. Somebody put an implant in my body and they are electrocuting. Right now they're electrocuting my genitals. They're electrocuting my anus. They can make you defecate when you don't feel like it. They can make you pee when you don't feel like it. They tell me if I have anal sex, they'll grow my genitals. And if I have anal sex, they'll kill me. Because I lied for years and said I was not gay. So there's a large group of gay community members all over this town, all over the city, right? And without knowing it, they drive past you. And they'll say or do something that's very harassing. They'll say or do something that you don't like. And then they'll laugh at you because, honestly, they knew the whole time. For like the last 30 years of your life, lots of people around you knew who you were, everything about you. And they were talking about you. But they didn't tell you because you would know that lots of people knew about you. And then you would know you couldn't be psychologically harassed enough or with enough harassment if you also knew that you were well known. So if you make sure the person you're talking about doesn't know you're talking about them, you can treat them poorly, you can do bad things to them, and if they told, people around them could deny that anybody knew who you are, so you can't be a target, you can't be made fun of, you can't be hurt, you can't, things you're saying can't be true. Someone is using an implant to stop me from talking to you. Making sense. I am very intelligent and I know I am capable of explaining what I think to you. But if you use an implant, you can stop someone from telling you what they're thinking. Use an implant. I don't know the functionality, the details, but I know you can stop someone from speaking to you and telling you what they think with an implant. So these people who know who I am, knew who I was, have known who I am for years, decided that they're not going to say anything about all the gossip and the child rape stories that they know about me. Like the fact that I told somebody I could do it when my cousin, 20 years old, came into my bedroom when I was 2 years old, pulled his penis out under the sheets of the bed I was in, or told me to get in the bed with him, put the blankets over our heads, and told me to suck his penis. He told me to put my mouth on his penis. And then when I did, he said, you're using too many teeth. There's too many teeth. You're putting your teeth on my penis. And he said, stop using your teeth. And he said, and I couldn't do it because his penis was bigger than my mouth. So every time I put my mouth on his penis, my baby teeth were on the tip of his penis. His name was Kevin, or they called him Lil Al. He came in my bedroom. I was 2 years old. He told me to get in his bed, and then he stuck his penis in my mouth. And then people are accusing me, the gay community that drives around everywhere, the gay community that's driving around everywhere have known about this for 30 years. So as soon as that happened, everybody in the gay community knew right away, and they talked about it for 30 years. And they said to themselves, if he says, I can do it, that means he's gay. So that 2-year-old child, they don't blame the perpetrator, they blame the victim. And that's the gay community we live around. These are the rapists, they hide. They drive past you with the knowledge of who you are, and they harass you. They sexually harass you. They flash their lights at you. They make a gesture. They stick their tongue out, or they laugh because they know you had a childhood experience where you told somebody you could do it. So if you could do it, to them, the gay community, people in the gay community, that dude just came around his car and smiled at me. And then he played stupid when I turned the camera around. If the gay community heard that you said you could do it, you must be a gay child. And a gay child is gay for the rest of their lives. So all the sexual harassment, and several other homosexual experiences in my childhood that told gay people I must be gay. Those experiences are experiences of a pedophile raping a child and then blaming go fuck yourself! And then blaming the adult for raping a child. And then blaming the adult for committing rape. So, blaming the child for committing rape. Being raped. So, if you had said no or fought or did something stronger than what you did, you would have never been sexually assaulted by your cousin. And that's usually what happens. The first victims of children are usually their family members. No, the first perpetrators of child rape are usually the people in the kid's family. Because it's really hard to bring a stranger into a child's room, right? How are you going to get the next door neighbor to get into your kid's bedroom? So you use a family member. Use a family member to get inside the home, to get inside the bedroom, and tell a child to do something sexual to them that they've already told people they didn't want to do. So when I was a kid, I was asked, I think a couple of times by my grandmother before that happened, do I want to have sex with dudes? Are you gay? Do you like girls or boys? And I kept telling her I like girls. And I think she asked me if I wanted to be with a boy. And I told her no. I was 2 years old. That was the first questions I remember my grandmother asking me. So she was talking to me about sex at a very young age. And then she brought my cousin in the room who told me to have sex with him. Put my penis in his mouth. And that's to a child, it's like people are telling you don't have a choice. So to a child, they're thinking, they're coming up with a rationality or like a solution to something people are forcing them to do that they don't want to do right now. Like go to sleep, or clean your room, or clean your room, go to sleep, or do something we tell you to do right now. The kid's thinking that as soon as I grow up, I will never do any of the things you're telling me to do right now. That's what the kid's thinking. That's the solution. So when my grandmother kept asking me to have sex with dudes, and I told her no, I thought I was beginning to think I didn't have a choice. Like that's what the kid's thinking. Like, why are you keep asking me to do something I told you I didn't want to do? And then your cousin comes in your room and he moves very quickly. He tells you to get in the bed very quickly, pulls the covers over his head very quickly, and pulls his penis out and tells you to put his penis in his mouth. All very quickly. So the only thoughts you're having are that you told somebody you didn't want to do this, but they've already beat your defense. They've already destroyed your constitution, the thought process that you have a choice. They beat that away. That's what my grandmother was there for first. And then she used my cousin to get me to have sex with a man that in a story they could tell for decades, forever, that this kid had a penis in his mouth. This 2-year-old child had a penis in his mouth. And that's how you rape a kid. Well, that's one way to rape a child, or you could do it by force. And they told me several times, most kids in that situation, if they had still said no, would have been raped or murdered by a family member. Was strangled, beaten, or hurt by your grandmother, which is what she was doing anyways. And they've told me several times, but they just told me again, if you were having sex if she didn't think you would grow up to be gay, your grandmother would have got mad one night and for no logical reason would have killed you. It would have been a story on the news, grandmother gets mad and kills her grandkids. Killed her grandkid. And she had no love for us. My sister just said, we're gonna lie and say your grandmother had so much love for you. But she's gonna use a community of gay people who she told, I have love for that kid. But it was a lie. She told people a lie so that they could use to protect history, or in hindsight, use it for her in hindsight. In reality, that the woman planned on, in reality, the woman wanted me to die, to lose my life if I didn't choose to have sex with gay people. If I wasn't willing to have sex with a dude, she wanted me to die. And she was gonna do whatever, she was gonna do or say whatever it took to get somebody to help somebody kill me. Like, beat him up. And if he dies, he dies. Or he thinks he's tough, he thinks he's a fighter, and then tell the neighborhood kids, the bigger neighborhood kids who are gay and work on behalf of the gay community, to beat on him. Bully him, call him names, pick on him, do whatever it takes to make him feel like he ain't nobody, he ain't who he thinks he is. And once he gets that idea, he's soft. And then find somebody to be his friend, like a gay kid, to be his friend, and tell him, and do sexual. This is the hard part, where you get somebody who's been beat up to believe that having sex with men would be an option to help to protect them, to keep them, so that bad things will stop happening to them. This is a hard part. This is where it's very difficult to get the psychology of somebody who's been bullied and harassed to make the decision to have sex with a dude to improve his life, to stop the bullying and harassment. Because now it's obvious you were doing all those things to get them to have sex with gay people. So that was my grandmother. She was helping everybody she could get me to have sex with gay people, and then lying to protect herself in the future. She was a groomer. She was her own little groomer who knew exactly how to turn one little boy into a gay man for the gay community that she loves and was protected by for so long. I mean, I could understand. They're so smart. They put an implant in people and nobody said anything. Nobody in the world spoke a single word about the implants in people's bodies. So I guess my grandmother believes, hell, if people are willing to do that, there's absolutely no reason that this little boy in my house should be fighting to not be gay. Everybody in the world knows there's implants in people's bodies. So yeah, my grandmother's is a child rapist, and she used a community of people to protect her from being caught trying to get her grandson to turn into a gay man as an adult. Just like all the other men she grew up with. And this police department is hiding video evidence for as long as possible that shows civil rights violations by gay men. Those officers who violated my rights were gay. And they're hiding those officers from the public because they know exactly what they did. They decided to dominate a straight guy in hope that the 33-year-old man that they rights who they violated would feel domesticated like a woman, feel like abused, like a woman would feel abused by a man when he's stronger, has more, or is bullied. So they hope that experience would destroy my confidence and who I am. And they hope that destruction would lead me to willingly have sex with the guys who are subtly showing, who are like ever so slightly showing signs of homosexuality. Would I give in to those small things now that I feel defeated, or now that my rights were violated? That's the Middleton Police Department. Those are the harassers and protectors of gay men and the community. Because people are too afraid to stand up to somebody who's just willing to walk up to you and shoot you and kill you and go to jail. All over the city of Middleton, people are afraid of gay community members because they will kill you, go to jail, And it's the same life for them. They're having sex with the people they want. They're eating food like they want to. They don't really care about doing 20 years in jail. It's not that bad. So you can make it as worse. You can turn things, you can punish them as badly as you want. But in reality, these people have the same life they had outside of prison, inside of prison. So the Middleton Police Department, the people who are supposed to uphold our rights, be strong people, they're actually hiding the criminals from society. They're actually paying the criminals in our society to hurt people right in front of everyone's faces. And they are doing everything they can to go after the people who tell, the people who speak up, the people who fight, the people who I choose to say, go fuck yourself. Those are my tools to fight. I choose to tell. That's another tool I use to fight. I use intelligence to fight. And someone took my intelligence with an implant. So normally I'd be able to speak very clearly to you. Normally I would be speaking very clearly to you, and someone just used technology to make me spit several times. I don't spit when I speak, but you can use an implant to control what happens inside someone's body and interfere with their ability to tell. And you can use YouTube or places people go to tell to interfere with reaching out across the country to help, to find assistance. You rape people, go fuck yourself. And you use children to harass adults. That's another key tool. Use a child to harass an adult. Smile or say you're still gay. So these are gay people, gay community members who live in our society, who sexually harass people they think are gay, or they want to be gay, or they don't care if they say no. They're rapists. They're gay community rapists. And it's not hate for gay people. It is the truth. It is reality. There are several gay community members who are forcing people to have sex with other gay people. I don't have time to lie. I don't have that purpose. That's not where I came. That's not what I'm here for. Especially since I discovered something very valuable to people. Improving and getting stronger so that we can survive the huge journey that we'll have to take through space. Control the weight, control the mass, evolve, and have density, muscular and musculoskeletal density that you need to survive this journey through space. I'm happy. I got what I wanted. I learned how to improve. I got stronger. I'm happy. And I helped a lot of people and I immediately told what I learned. So I'm not here to lie about gay people. I'm here to tell on gay people. I am tired of you guys using implants to sexually assault me, to torture me, to stop me from learning, to stop me from growing, to stop me from improving. And I'm tired of the people in the community who randomly drive past me and say or do something sexually harassing or harassing as I travel or as I go anywhere or as I stand on the sidewalk. And it's not because of the video or the death threats or the scary feelings that I'm supposed to get from the random people and the beat up vehicles or the implication or the news, grooming from the news where bad things happen to people from these people. And to constantly see these people everywhere I go, it's like a constant sense of threat or bad things are going to happen to you. They're just waiting for the right scenario. So I'm not making it up. I don't have a mental health problem. I have a clear understanding of what's happening or what I see and what I hear. And it's not good things, and it's coming from the gay community. These people are doing bad things and lying to the public at the same time, or blaming the victim. And no one's investigating because they'll either, if they begin to, everything I see and hear will probably stop, or they will quickly learn that everything I've said, heard, and told was true. Rapists with implants. And it's not me, and it's not as quiet. The town is not as quiet as it looks. And they can turn up the volume by using the implant inside your body to tell you what people think about you without being called a rapist in the community, because no one has evidence that they said these things about you to you, because the implant's beneath the surface. So everything that you see that looks quiet, these people can speak to you beneath the skin, your skin, so that you can't hear what they're saying. Well, you can't record what they're saying to you. Because if you did, you would know that the people you grew up with, the celebrities, the politicians, all of these people have psychologies of a rapist. They believe that you're gay and that it's okay to test your sexuality with intimidation, sexual harassment, implants, electrocution, interference, mental interference. All of these little tools, they say, will test your willingness to have sex with gay people. It's attempted rape. It's attempted rape that they call a test. And it looks quiet around town, but in reality, these people are doing and saying things very quickly, very quietly, or with the use of an implant to get you to have sex with gay people. That's the reality. And I came here for I came to Earth for to go after a different goal. I came to get stronger. That was my first ambition, to be the strongest, the fastest, put together. I didn't know anything about stamina as a kid. I think the first thing I saw was strong people and fast people. That's what I came for. And I grew up into the guy who learned how to combine strength and speed using gravity. The force of gravity can combine everything that a strong man has with everything a fast guy is. Energy and gravity. Gravity and energy. It's energy and gravity. Fast guys have gravity. Go fuck yourself! And that dude just laughed at me and said, be gay. Whoever that cop was drove past and said, be gay. And they want me to chase after them. So, another good tool to use to cause an altercation is say or do something to somebody really quickly, have no evidence of it, and then move away really quickly. Now that person has a feeling of hurt feelings, and usually when you have hurt feelings, you want to say or do something back to the person who hurt your feelings. So officers for several years have stalked me, harassed me, intimidated, and then drove away, hoping that I would follow them. And then, because I can't track them in real time the way they track me, to be somewhere suddenly and quickly and pass by, you literally have to follow them because you don't have the same tools. And if you don't have the same tools, bad things can happen to you because you don't have the same tools that they have. Because you don't have the same tools that they have. Go fuck yourselves. So, because you don't have the same tools that police officers like to use to harass people, it's very easy for them to harass you and make you look like a criminal because you don't have the same tools they have. And if you don't have the same tools they have, when you decide to retaliate, you got caught. But they have better tools to attack quickly and get away with it. So instead of you catching or being like the normal guy, the normal person who, who tells, who gets like justice, the normal person who gets justice, street justice, not street justice, but justice because it's reasonable that if somebody does something bad to you, you retaliate and you get like support from the community support. You get the criminal response where you get in trouble and you get told on because it looks like you were following that officer. And there's no evidence of the officer driving past you and saying, be gay. That's what he just did. I don't have time to lie. That officer just drove past me and said, and kept going. He mouthed the words and kept driving. It was a white officer in an unmarked vehicle. It's a Middleton police officer. A gay community member or a gay community supporter. There's no difference between a gay community supporter and a gay community member. I don't give a damn what you say. I support the gay community. You are in the gay community. So I don't want to hear that crap. There are things that they do that would contradict anybody's beliefs who is in a different community. You don't have sex with kids. I mean, you don't groom children to have sex with gay people. And you don't assault, the pedophile community is in the gay community. They're in the gay community. How the hell do you think gay people keep showing up? You're paying or torturing or scaring children into having sex with gay people throughout their lives. And you're using an implant to give them a feeling that they're better than everybody around them. Those are the rapists in our community, and they are protecting each other with using police officers. So no, I didn't come here to tell on gay people. In fact, I could care less about gay people. As soon as someone does the right thing, takes his implant out of my body, tells on these gay community members, and gets this tech so that I can move on to get stronger and enjoy life as it's meant to be enjoyed, with gravity, with lots of pressure. Gravity is incredible pressure in a very small area. This is gravity in highly compressed space in a small area. Space is weight. Highly compressed weight in a small area. Highly compressed anything in a small area, which is only possible with gravity. Pressure. That's what I want to do. I want to add every bit of energy I can find with as much pressure inside my body as possible. That's what I want. I don't want an implant in my body, and I don't want police officers to continue to drive past me and tell me to be gay. Those aren't the things I want. And I want my civil rights upheld. I'm supposed to have freedom of speech. That you can say go fuck yourself until you lose consciousness. And somebody has taught police officers and that suddenly the laws changed. That civil right doesn't apply, or people didn't fight for that right 60 years ago. And suddenly, because we're in Middleton, Wisconsin, those laws change. That law has changed. The constitutional right has changed because they feel like it. Because they have a different understanding of state laws, or they purposefully misinterpret state laws. Or they lie. And they say, hey, I think that's disorderly conduct. I think that's illegal. You telling people to go fuck yourself, you feeling free to say that, it's illegal. That's my opinion. So I'm going to charge you like it's illegal and hope and make you fight to tell for your rights, for a right that's already been fought for, which you probably can't do, or hope maybe there's a judge. The judge in town disagrees. The local judge will sacrifice himself for us, because no one hears you. No one knows you exist. No one sees your existence. No one even watches your YouTube videos. And that's what people are telling me with implants all the time. That you don't exist. No one knows you exist. No one watches your YouTube channel. And I can see the numbers. So they don't have to tell me that for me to see the numbers. But they're trying to get me the idea that whether I was on YouTube or on Twitter or not, no one knows you exist. And if no one knows you exist, bad things can happen to you, because when you cry for help, no one will be there to hear you. So the judge could make an illegal decision to uphold that you don't have a civil right to go fuck yourself, because no one knows you exist. And if no one knows you exist, we can do bad things to you. You have a right to say go fuck yourself. It's a freedom of speech, and it's supposed to be protected at all times. That is your right. I was never supposed to be charged But people are teaching me or telling me all the time with implants, it doesn't matter. If no one knows you exist, no one knows you have rights. You don't have civil rights. You don't have any rights because people can just make a choice to not uphold your rights. And if you complain, no one knows who complained, right? Or there's no awareness that you made a complaint. And if there's no awareness you made a complaint, who cares what choices we make? That's how you escape justice. That's how you escape, that's how you defeat the Justice Department. If no one knows the crime was committed, no one's forced to provide justice for you. You keep it quiet. You do bad things and don't tell anybody. And you can be a police officer to do bad things and make sure no one knows, or you can be a judge and do bad things and make sure no one knows and no one will ever tell. You can continue to hurt somebody in the community. That's all you gotta do. It's very, very easy. It's very, very simple way to hurt somebody. And use a community of people to protect you. Laugh and joke and play while you're hurting somebody and be in a position of power and it doesn't make a difference. It wouldn't make a difference if you were in a position of power because everyone around you is doing exactly what you're doing and making the same choices, which are illegal, but who cares if no one's aware that you made an illegal decision? It's how you commit rape. Like these implants, I keep telling, and no one is doing anything, not even bothering to do an investigation. I'm not stupid. It's a fucking cell phone that someone put into my body and is using to teach me to have sex with gay people. I'm not stupid. I've told for years. I've told for years. Rapists with implants. But I'm gonna keep telling, and I'm gonna post this in a second, and hopefully you guys, hopefully someone does the right thing and takes these goddamn implants out and arrests bad officers, people who support the gay community and police uniform by breaking the rules to hurt any person they choose at any time, all across the country.